Welcome, everybody. My name is Hannah Margaret Allen. I'm the executive editor at MindBody Green, and I could not be more excited for this conversation tonight. I'm here with Heather Housley, Managing Director, Head of Consumer Investments, Client Services at Bank of America, to talk about one thing: financial wellness. Because here's the thing about money: no matter how much you have or don't have, it's stressful. Even if you have savings, amazing credit, and are out of debt, there's still something anxiety-inducing about finances. But what helps me is to simply lean into the conversation. Even when it's uncomfortable or when there's uncertainty, cultivating financial freedom starts with awareness. And it's never too late. Heather, we are so ready to dive into this conversation and to hear from your expertise on all things financial wellness, especially for the women in our audience. So to get us started, I'd love to know what financial wellness means to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hannah, for having me. I'm excited to be here tonight. And I have been with Bank of America for over 23 years. So obviously financial wellness is definitely near and dear to me, and excited to share some thoughts today. When I think about financial wellness, much like physical wellness, spiritual wellness, I think of two key areas. Number one is the need for education and just learning as much as possible as you can, leveraging your resources, finding tools, just learning and soaking it in to get better every day. The second would really be finding a support system, and that can be friends, colleagues, family members. It can also be a financial advisor if you need. Just finding those people who you can learn from and be advocates for you as you embark on that financial wellness journey. It's interesting, so often we only think about budgeting and savings when it comes to financial wellness, but investing is such a critical piece of that journey as well, so that we can grow the assets that we are saving for future needs.
It's so interesting you say that, because we found that according to a 2022 report by Merrill, women and men say they have nearly equal influence on day-to-day financial decisions. However, less than half of women feel they maintain influence when it comes to investment decisions. And 1 in 3 women feel like they don't have the knowledge to be more involved in investing. In fact, nearly a third of women participating in that study share that their biggest financial regret was not saving and investing sooner. So what do you think is behind that?
There are a few things behind that financial literacy gap. It could be confidence, could be education, as we mentioned. It could just be the comfort of talking about finances and money with others and thinking that it's a taboo topic. The good news is that I believe that confidence gap and education gap oftentimes can be addressed by just equipping women with the resources and tools to build that confidence as quickly as possible. What's great is our clients have access to offerings, solutions, platforms that really give them those tools and resources straight at their fingertips to help them build that confidence and make them more comfortable in managing those investment decisions. It's so important more than ever. After the pandemic, over 1 million women have left the workforce. And when we think about the need for understanding investments, looking at finances a little bit differently, having different needs that you'll need to address, it's critical now that we equip women with that education, those tools and resources to be even stronger and more confident when it comes to their finances.
It was pretty fascinating. The studies also showed that when women do invest, they outperform their male counterparts. Why do you think that is?
Yes, the great part is, once they gain that confidence and that comfort, they feel comfortable sharing their story with others, and they feel more comfortable learning from other women. When we think about things, and probably no surprise, women are more comfortable talking about finances specifically with other women. So you think about that support system with colleagues and mentors and mentees, and why that is so critical. There's a similar sentiment also when you think about raises for women and not bringing up demanding or wanting equal or more pay in the workforce. And that has to do with the confidence as well, and their ability and comfort to talk about it. So the more that we can build that confidence around finances, share the story and lean into each other, not only will we see the confidence grow in the financial aspect, but also from a work standpoint and really getting those raises and talking about it more often.
So bottom line, not enough women are investing, but if they started on this path, they may be surprised to learn that they're actually really good at it. And with that in mind, what do you want women to know about investing?
I think first and foremost that it's not scary. You've got to jump right in, learn as much as you can, but don't be so nervous or so scared about it that you don't take advantage of it and learn more. The second one is it's okay to ask for help. And again, that can be with someone that you know that you're comfortable with. But really, we have a network of financial advisors that can also be that education and that resource for you so that you're not in it alone and you have someone to go to talk about it and ask your questions of. Investing is such a critical piece of your overall financial wellness that you shouldn't be nervous about it and ignore it from your overall financial plan.
I'll admit, as a woman, but also as a human being trying to figure out this whole financial well-being situation, investing can be pretty intimidating. I'd love to break that stigma. What would you say to those members in our audience who are curious about investing but feel like it's out of their reach?
The number one stigma, I think, or misconception about that is that you need a slug of cash to start, right? You need to have won the lottery or already have amassed a sum of money. And that's just not true. You can start with as little bit as a few $100s and really start early so that you can learn more, understand it more, and just gain that confidence along the way. What's great is Bank of America Merrill offers so many different platforms and solutions for you to start learning and really enter at whatever stage of life that you need. For example, if you wanted to do all of the investing yourself, you could use a Merrill Edge self-directed account and make those investment decisions yourself through our online website. Or you could find a little hybrid of the two, where it's still a self-directed platform with our Merrill Guided Investing account, but you're also getting then advice and guidance and investment decisions being made by our CIO office. Or lastly, if you want the one-on-one support of a financial advisor, we offer Merrill Guided Investing with Advice, which is the best of both worlds, where you're still having the investment guidance of our CIO office, but you're also having a one-on-one relationship with a financial advisor to help you with that planning along the way.
So how do we get started?
The most important thing is first understanding your goals. You have to map out what you want to achieve, what your priorities are, to be able to understand how to build a plan for it. Secondly, you want to build out your time frame. How long do you have to achieve those goals? And what do you need to do short term versus what might you need to do long term? And then lastly, build out your plan and work with a financial advisor or someone like that so that you're able to really understand how you achieve those goals, what that timing looks like, and help stay on track so that you don't lose sight of that.
You mentioned before, when it comes to financial wellness, we don't have to do it alone. And I think that's so important because so often money stress can leave us feeling pretty isolated. Can a financial advisor help us with our financial wellness goals? Can you tell us more about what a financial advisor actually does and why they're important?
Definitely. What's great about a financial advisor is that they really are with you every step of the way. So when you start building out that plan, when you start initially saving or putting money into an investment account, they can understand what your priorities are, maybe help you uncover priorities that you didn't realize were important to you at the time, and then really set out that map or journey to help you achieve whatever goals and priorities that you want to throughout your financial life. The other thing that's great is they'll make sure to stay in contact with you routinely to ensure that you're staying on track with that financial plan. And if you need to adjust for any reason, they'll be there every step of the way to help adjust as needed.
I can say that when I was younger, I had zero interest in investing. Now I find myself more intrigued by investing as well as other aspects of financial wellness. It seems like getting the best financial advice really depends on what stage of life you're in. So generally speaking, what kind of financial advice can you give to someone in their 20s? Does it change for someone in their 30s, 40s, and beyond?
That's a great question. What's so interesting about that is it's not necessarily tied to an age. I think the first and foremost is start investing as quickly as you can. Start saving as soon as you can. Even if it's $10 a paycheck, putting that money aside for something in the future and watching that money grow through investments, that is so important so that you can start early. But you also don't need to panic if you haven't started early. It is never too late to start. That will just adjust the amount that you need to save based on those goals and based on where you are in that life. What's interesting, though, is that age is not as critical. And what we mean by that is that everything really is based on milestones in your life or a life cycle that you might be in, and really those life priorities. So as an example, if you're just starting out in work and starting to save some money, you might want to just build up a savings account for either emergencies, a large vacation, a honeymoon or a marriage, anything that you would just need to save some additional cash for upfront. Then you might actually, want to buy a house. So that increased amount of savings is important as you think about a large down payment. You might want to explore mortgage rates to understand what debt looks like and the best rates for you. Or you start, thinking about more long term, maybe having a baby and starting a college savings fund. So really all of those financial milestones are tied to a life milestone, less about age, more about what you're going through during that life stage.
Love that. Such a huge part of financial wellness is simply having conversations like this, raising awareness and learning everything we can. But we also live in uncertain times. Words like recession, inflation come to mind. So how can we manage our money amidst these financial stressors, and most importantly, with confidence?
Key to that is always having a plan, because it's so much easier to adjust a plan that you have because of unique circumstances in the environment or the economy, instead of just having to create a plan overnight to address them at the same time. So that would be the first one. The second one is really understanding that, this is a long-term goal strategy for investing. Sure, there are short-term needs. You'll have short-term cash needs that you will have to change and adjust on a day-to-day basis. But just because life throws us uncertainties doesn't mean we have to stray away from our long-term goals and our long-term plans. And that is so key to keep in mind in your financial journey. It also will give you some freedom when you think about financial wellness, because the stress of the long-term getting impacted negatively even by the short run will be less of an issue if you think about things in the long-term goal standpoint.
Makes sense. What practices would you recommend folks employ to maintain financial well-being? I'm guessing we shouldn't check our portfolio every day. How often should we speak to our advisor? Should we or should we not read and watch the news? I'd love to get your take on what kind of regular routines that lead to the best possible relationship with finances.
I recommend learning and reading as much as you can. We offer some great resources online. First is Which Better Money Habits, which gives you just financial banking 101, no matter what the topic is. So you can always learn something new there and build your financial acumen. The second resource would be merrilledge.com, that offers a slew of resources in regards to your investment accounts and portfolios, videos on how to, just a number of different resources that are available to you to learn and grow. When it comes to checking your portfolio, again, you go back to this long-term strategy. The markets will go up and down. You'll see that movement every day. It's important, though, even if you are checking it often, to understand that you have a long-term goal that you've created a plan for, and you need to stay on track with that. Don't panic about the day-to-day movement. Just understand that you are working towards something in the long run, and work with your financial advisor as needed to make sure that you're still on track for that long-term plan. If you do need to adjust, make sure you're having those conversations with the financial advisor as needed to adjust your plans, and ensure that if there is something that needs to be changed along the way, that you have that support system intact to make the best decisions for you.
Thank you, Heather. I'm excited to give my financial routine an upgrade after this, and I'm sure our community will agree. You've brought such a wealth of advice to the table, but I know our audience has some questions they'd love for you to answer. So how about we dive in there?
Perfect.
First question, I'm worried about losing my job. What's the best way to set up an emergency fund?
That is a scary reality, and it's so critical to have an emergency fund already built into your plan, already built into your saving habits, so that if something unforeseen comes up, you're ready. We recommend 3 to 6 months worth of your income in an emergency fund for cash as needed. You can always start small and build that up as you save. But what's important is to know that things will come up, and that can be something as easy as an air conditioning that goes out, a car that needs to be repaired, something that was not in your regular budgeting, or it could be something more major like a job loss or a recession. And either way, you have to have the comfort of knowing that you have started saving for those unforeseen expenses so that it doesn't stress you out and you're prepared for anything that might come your way. What's great is, we offer so many tools that can automate that savings for you. Number one is just the automatic movements from either your paycheck or from a checking to a savings account on a monthly basis, so that that money is automatically put into a savings and stashed away for that emergency fund. The second is we offer something through Bank of America called Keep the Change. or if you spend on your debit card, it will roll up to the nearest whole dollar, and anything in between what you've spent in that whole dollar will automatically get moved into a savings account as well. So it's just building upon your normal habits and kind of rewarding and helping you build those strong habits from a savings standpoint.
That's wonderful. I like this next question. I'm getting married. Should I combine finances with my partner?
That is such a hard question. And, two things right off the bat. Number one, it's all about communication. You've got to make sure that you're upfront with each other. Everybody understands the financial situation and that you're always having an open dialogue about finances within the relationship. The second piece is knowing that every relationship is going to be different. There is no one size fits all for anybody. It really will be unique to, the couple, the circumstances and the needs. And just knowing that ahead of time is very helpful. But there are some things that you can do to make this situation easier to navigate. Number one is coming together as a couple and talking about what you're each bringing to the table financially. That could be income, savings accounts, it could be debt from student loans or a prior mortgage. Just really putting it out on the table what each of you have financially to deal with and having that open communication. The second piece would be, once you know that, really deciding on the tactical kind of hand-to-hand combat of your finances. Who will pay the bills? Who will help find the financial institution that works for you? Really understanding kind of the day-to-day management and the day-to-day needs of the finances of the couple. And then lastly, once you know that, is kind of thinking about the long-term goals and how you blend those two, right? Charting your territory from your short-term needs and the day-to-day tactics to the long-term goals of saving, retirement, college saving plans, all of those things that will be important, critical milestones in your life, and talking about them early so that you can create your plan and really have a fun and healthy financial journey together.
Speaking of planning, someone asked, any tips for actually sticking to a budget?
Yes, budget too, comes down to the communication and understanding as well. It's really taking the time to understand what your income is first. How much money are you bringing in each month through your job or other means? Number two would be understanding then your must spend bills, your mortgages, your rents, things that you have to pay from each month from a necessity standpoint, and understanding that expense level. The next would be then understanding expense level for maybe the variable costs or the non-necessities, things like cable plans, phone bills, even entertainment, things that you could spend on or tighten as you needed to adjust that budget. And then lastly would be keeping track of it. So kind of once you understand it, once you realize what you can and can't spend, really having a good plan to adjust and prioritize as needed and keep track of your spending so that you stay on course for that.
The next question is, at what age should I start saving for retirement?
Definitely the theme here is as soon as possible. That first paycheck that you're getting, you can put $10 away. Start saving as much as you can, as early as you can. It's also good if you're a young adult starting off in the corporate world, is understanding if your employer offers a 401k plan for you to participate in to really help with that retirement savings. And if they do, do they match what you are contributing to that 401k plan as well? Because not only then are you helping build that retirement savings, but the company that you work for is also helping you build that retirement savings. And it will just be a much quicker journey to build that retirement fund up.
How can I best work toward long-term wealth building goals with my investments while also managing my short-term financial needs?
That's where understanding kind of those life stages and working with someone like a financial advisor is so helpful, because you will have that day-to-day short-term needs, the budgeting, just the operations of your finances that you still need to be accounted for. But you want to make sure that you have that long-term plan so that you can achieve financial freedom and financial wellness for those long-term, maybe more expensive goals. One of the ways that we help with that at Bank of America and Merrill is through what we call Life Plan, which is a digital personalized experience where you can map out some of those long-term life plan or life priorities and really make sure that you stay on track with them, have your financial advisor work with you on that, and understand that needs may change, but you still have to stay focused on that long-term goal with the help of the resources and tools available to you.
Someone asked, how can a financial advisor help me with money anxiety?
Yeah, again, that support system is so critical. The financial advisor should be somebody that you feel comfortable working with. They have a vested interest in your success and your financial freedom. you have good conversations with them so that they can understand your priorities, your current situation, and of course, your goals for the long term. We had mentioned earlier that women feel more comfortable talking about finances with other women. And this is another great example where sometimes women feel more comfortable talking to women financial advisors about that situation. And so if you can find somebody who you really relate to, that you trust, you find a financial institution that can grow with you along your financial journey, then you know that that journey will be far less stressful and you'll find far more freedom in your financial journey if you work on those two things together.
That's great. We're getting close to time here, but I just wanted to say thank you, Heather, for such incredible insights and advice today. Here at MindBody Green, we really believe that the way that we relate to money is just as important as how we interact with our nutrition, our mental health, our fitness. And after today, things feel so much clearer. Thanks again to you and to Bank of America. And thanks to our audience for spending this time with us. Wishing everyone a great night.
Thank you so much.